Hello all and welcome to Crochet Designs. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are working on this beautiful little potpourri pouch that you see right here. Now yours truly has really overfilled this. So I've got potpourri sticking out everywhere. It's not out of shape, the pouch, it's just me that's put too much in there. Probably shouldn't have put so much, but there you go. In this one I've popped a bar of soap, so you have a choice of doing that. Or you could also put in polyfill fluff and just put a few drops of your favorite oils in there if you like. But in today's tutorial, let's get on with it. The color combination chosen today was chosen by the lovely Nifti. She chose the red, not the green. I just popped the green in there for fun, but you do have a red bow if you wanted to. Now, she chose the red during one of our live antics on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Melbourne, Australia time. We have a thing called Live Antics, and anyone on that live gets their name popped into a hat, and then I pull out their name, and then they get to choose a colour from the amount of colours that I have on my table. They get to choose one colour from there, sometimes 2 and 3, depending on what we're creating at that time. But Nifty's choice was this beautiful red, and red is my favorite, so Nifty, thank you so much for choosing my favorite color today. But there you go, that wasn't planned. But I did make one in green before the red one as a practice, as I usually do. I always make something as a practice. If I've not done one of these before, I've done another pouch, this one here that we made a couple of weeks ago. Now you'll see a link to this tutorial in the description box down below, or the more section down below if you want to make this one. This one's cute. I love it a lot. But this one here I love if I didn't just put too much potpourri in it and just put like a bar of soap or something nice and soft. I'll take the photo with the soap in it, but there you go. All right. Moving right along, thank you Nifty for your colour combination today. What can I say? You will need your cotton, wool or acrylic. You can use anything you want for this. It's potpourri. It lets out the scents in the 3 holes that we made here and the 3 holes that we made there, or chain spaces if you will. So you'll need a 4mm hook, an 8-ply or a DK weight or a 3-weight yarn. Must be an 8-ply if you're going to make the same size as ours. If you want to make yours bigger, by all means, just know that ours fits 1 bar of soap. Yeah. And I used between 8 and 10 grams because I made the bag first and then forgot that I had to do the chains. So we'll say roughly 10 grams for the whole piece. How quick and easy is that? The yarn can help you use up all your scraps in your stash, really, or your scrap yarn. And you can make 5, 10, 15, 20 of these. Pop them in your drawers with your socks and clothes and whatever, in your cupboards, under towels, whatever. And you can also give these away as gifts for Christmas. So get in early. I know it's August, but get in early, guys. But there you go. So you'll need the hook. You'll need your scissors. I used 2 stitch markers. I'm missing them, but I used 2 of them. I used the 2 sewing needles. One to weave in the ends, and this one here to go through these spaces here, real thick one. If you don't have a thick one, you could use your hook to pull your thread through. I didn't show you that in the tutorial. I used a sewing needle, but there you go. You can use a hook. All right. So that is pretty much all you will need right now. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to let you get started creating your gorgeous potpourri pouch color combination chosen by the lovely Nifty. Good luck all. Alrighty guys, we're going to start off by making a slip knot. Grab the tail end of your yarn, wrap it around your finger once and twice, holding it there and holding it down there. Pass your back loop halfway over your finger, hold it there, pass the other loop all the way over, pop your hook in that loop and just give everything a tug. Alright, now we're going to chain 10, and a chain is yarn over your hook, pull through, once, yarn over, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. All right, and in the next stitch you are going to do a standing double crochet, or I like to call that a piggyback single crochet. All right, so you're popping your hook in the top loop only of the very next stitch, pull a loop through like so, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. That's a single crochet US, double crochet UK, but we are now going to put a piggyback single crochet on top of the same one. Okay, so you've got your loop up there and your loop down here. It's kind of like a side base loop, if you will. So you're going only into that side base loop, not in 2 loops, just the one. Pop your hook in, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both those loops. Now you want to grab a stitch marker, safety pin, hairpin, piece of thread, whatever you have, and pop it in the top 2 loops of that stitch there. If I don't fumble all the way through it, hello, the top 2 loops of that stitch there, like so. All right, there you go. Yarn over your hook. Before you do anything, we are going to be popping double crochets US, trebles UK in every loop across, top loop. Then we're going to turn and pop one in every base loop across. But before we do any of that, you're going to put a double crochet in the same stitch as your standing double crochet. So really, yarn over your hook, that's the stitch we started in, that's where we're putting our first double crochet. Pop your hook in the same stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops left, yarn over, pull through the last 2. That's a double crochet US, treble UK, and it's in the same stitch that you are in. All right, now yarn over your hook, you're going into the very next loop with double crochets in every loop across. All right, so the first loop right there, a bit tight, but it's there. Don't go back into the same one you're in, just go there, pop your hook in, pull a loop through, 3, yarn over, pull through 2, 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, and you're doing it again. That's your first double crochet on the side. You've got 2 in the first stitch, and this is your first on the side, so we'll go second. Oh, my chains are fairly tight, sorry guys. Third, but they're there. Fourth, fifth, and notice I'm going in the top loop only. Sixth, and 7th stitch across. Okay, so you've got 2 in the first, 7 across, and here you need to place 3 double crochets in that last stitch. So find the loop, pop 1 in there first, but stop at the second one, do your second one. Right there, you're going to place another stitch marker. Now that's just showing you the center of your piece. Now that center will move later, but for now leave it there. You're going to pop a 3rd double crochet in the same loop. Now you can do whatever you like with this tail. I'm just going to pop it at the back for now and do the double crochet in there. Normally I crochet over it, but I'm not going to because I want you to see the stitches. All right, so remember those 7 across that we did? We're going to continue to do that, and we are popping our double crochet in the base stitch of this stitch. We've turned around and now we're popping a double crochet in that base stitch. Collect the first loop only with a double crochet. All right, then you go into the second one with a double crochet, your 3rd, and notice I'm only taking the base loop only. I'll get close up and show you right here. There's the loop, base loop only, and you can see the other loop in the center there. All right, double crochet. Look, it doesn't really matter if you collect both the loops, it won't make much of a difference. Okay, there, and I'm going to be careful not to overdo it. There's one last double crochet here, there, and then you have your center one where we did 2. Now we've got 3 in this one, so we need to add a 3rd one over here. So pop your hook in that stitch where you've got your standing double crochet and your first double crochet. So it's right there, and you can see them together. Pop your hook in there, pull a loop through and doing your double crochet. Then you're slip stitching into the stitch with your stitch marker. All right, remove your stitch marker for a moment. Chain 1. We're going to now work in rounds. With a standing double crochet again, pop your hook in, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you're going into, remember the side base loop there, pull a loop through, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, grab your stitch marker. And now you're not putting an extra double crochet in the same stitch, you're just jumping straight into the next stitch and the next one with double crochets. So ignore the one that we're in right there. Yeah, jump right into the next one. Oh, don't split the yarn. Right into the next one with a double crochet or treble UK. And then 1 into your next one. So right now you have your standing double crochet and then 1, 2, and now we're going to make these little chain spaces that you see here. All right, I'm just going to get myself some yarn. Sorry guys. So to do that, we chain 1, we skip 1 double crochet, which is these 2 loops you see here. We jump into the next double crochet, straight into the 2 loops with a double crochet, and you've made your first space. Chain 1, skip 1, jump into the next with a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the very last one with a double crochet. And then you go back to your normal double crochet for your next stitch. And before we continue, what you should have is your 2 double crochets, 1, 2, 3 chain spaces, and then 2 double crochets. And then you pop 1 in the stitch marker, stitch like so. Pop your stitch marker back in there for now. We may not need it later, but for now we will use it. And then you're already in that stitch. You're not putting any more in there like we did before. You're just jumping into the very next stitch with 1 double crochet and then 1 into your next second double crochet, and then you're doing these chain spaces on the other side. So chain 1, you're already in this, yeah? So skip the next one, go into your next one with a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the next with a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the next with a double crochet. That's the first one, and now you're doing a double crochet in your next stitch, second one, and then you will see your standing double crochet will be in your next. All right, so slip stitch into the stitch with your stitch marker, pull a loop through, pull it through to the loop on your hook, remove your stitch marker, chain 1, hold it there, and that's what you have. All right, your chain 1 spaces should marry each other for now. They may move a little bit, but we'll work on that later. All right. Now, because we're working in the round, you will find that your chain, your sides will move a little bit. That's normal, yeah. So whilst you're here, you're going to do a standing double crochet in the same space. Now you've done this before, pull through 2, grab that side base loop and do another single on top of it and pop your stitch mark in. That will never change until the very last 2 rounds, but you don't have to worry about that yet. So in your next stitch you're doing, make sure you're not in here, just jump straight into your next with a double crochet. 1 into the next, 2, and here is where we're going to start filling up these spaces. 2 ways you can do this: yarn over your hook, you can go over the chain space like so, which is normal, and do your double crochet, or you can, sucker for punishment like Mary and go into the actual stitch of the chain. The reason I'm doing that's 2 loops on top, 1 on the base. The reason I'm doing that is I find that it keeps my rounds straight here. It's not necessary. You can still do it over the chain rather than in it, but I'm doing my stitches in it, all right? So yarn over your hook, you're going into the next double crochet with a double crochet. Yarn over your hook into the next space. If you want to go over it, you can, or you can do what I'm doing and go into the actual chain itself, doing your double crochet. Again, into the very next stitch with a double, and then one last space either over your work doing your double or into the chain itself. And then into the double crochet 1, the double crochet 2, and then you have your next stitch marker stitch, do your double crochet in there, remove that stitch marker for a minute. You can replace it, it's kind of not necessary now. In fact, I'm going to remove it for now. Double crochet into the first one. Keep it in there if you're confused with this one round. Yeah. Double into your second one. All right. And then you come up to your spaces. Okay. A double crochet either over the chain or into the tight chain. This one's a tight one for me, which is normal when you're doing chains in between stitches. Yeah. One into the next stitch, one into your next chain space or into the actual chain, one into your next stitch, one into the space or into the chain, and then one each in the next 2 stitches. So one into the stitch 1 and one into stitch 2, and you are at the end of the round. It's a little bit awkward here, a little bit weird, but it shows that for me I put that there so it can fill up spaces. Yeah, so slip stitch into the stitch with a stitch marker and pull a loop through, remove that stitch marker for a moment, chain 1, standing double crochet once again with your side base loop. Yep. Replace your stitch marker and get excited because this round is so simple. All you are doing is popping double crochets in every stitch across the round. Simple, simple, simple. Don't even have to worry about center stitches, nothing. Just make sure you stay focused on that first standing double crochet and you don't accidentally put too many stitches in the same space. That's why you need a stitch marker in there, because it can sometimes look like 2 stitches when really it's only 1. All right, so that's it, double crochet. I'm going to pop this on fast until we get to the end of this side and off we go. All right, so it can look a little tricky here, being careful. That is your standing double crochet like I said before. So really you only have 1 double crochet left there. So don't end up putting another one here, just the one. And then you are slip stitching to join, pull a loop through like so, and tighten that up. Now, chaining 1, remove that stitch marker for a minute. We're going to do 2 things. We're going to, it's not necessary to count the stitches, but in one sense, when we get to the top and we need to do this section here, you kind of need to have the right amount of stitches. So counting your stitches across, and we're in this one, yeah, that's these little V's that you see right here. So we're in the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So you should have 20 stitches across there. All right, so that's what you need to do. So that's it, really. You have one little job you need to do now. You need to do all of these rounds. All you're doing is repeating that first round over and over again for another 5 more rounds. Okay. All right, so what you need to do is repeat this round 5 more times, get to the very last round, meet me there, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of our 5 rounds. Now we already did 2 rounds previously, so what you're counting is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so if you're worried whether this is going to fit, if you're going to use a soap, that's the only time you need to measure it, because for potpourri, and if you want to pop in, you know, a little bit of fluff like this, you can put as much as you want. But if you want to make sure it fits your soap, my suggestion would be to try it. Now, yours will be a little tight on your soap, but that is okay because you want a lot of the spacing to bring out the scent of your soap. All right. It's tight, but it still has, like, I still have room to move in there. So there you go. The only time you would have to take it undone is if it was really, you couldn't even get the soap in. But we worked that out with plenty of stitching there. So now we're going to change the pattern a little bit. We're even going to change that very first, whoops, nearly lost it, that very first stitch that we did. All right, so let's slip stitch to join, make your last stitch, slip stitch to join like normal. There you go, like so. Remove your stitch marker for a moment, and you are chaining 1, and you're not doing a standing double crochet. You're doing what we call a half double crochet US or half treble UK. So yarn over your hook, you're going into the same stitch you are in, pop your hook in, pull a loop through like so, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, pop your stitch marker in the top 2 loops of that stitch right there. All right, and now you're chaining 1, making sure you still have your 20 stitches in the round, or this round isn't going to work. Okay, skip 1, and you're doing a half double crochet US, half treble UK in the next stitch. So you're skipping the 1 stitch, you're going into your next with your half double. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, chain 1, skip 1, into the next with your half double, like so, chain 1, skip, half, and that is your pattern for this round. 1, skip, half, 1, skip, half, 1, skip, half, and you just keep going like that. And it won't take long, we've got a few stitches only. Skip, half, and chain 1, skip 1. Normally we would be doing a half, there's already a half there, so don't pop your yarn over your hook. All you're doing is slip stitching into that. Now being wary that that is a slip stitch, so that's your next half double, or your next double from the previous round, and then you're just slip stitching into that stitch there. Pull a loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Remove your stitch marker for a moment. You are going to chain 1, and this round we are going to place half double crochets in the whole round. So yarn over your hook, half into the same stitch you are in, pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. You know how to do half doubles now. Half double US, half treble UK. And then you're placing a half double crochet in the next space. You don't have to go into the chain anymore, just straight into the space with half double crochet. Half double crochet into the stitch of your half double crochet in the base row. So just a half double crochet in the stitch, a half in the space, half into the stitch. I'll get close to do that in a minute. Half into the space, and to do the stitch, it's just those top loops right there, into the stitch, into the next space, into your stitch, into your next space, and so on, all the way through this round. I'm going to pop this one on fast, and off we go. And into, well, here we are. That's the last stitch I went into, and now we're going into the very last space there. And then we're slip stitching to join. Remove your stitch marker. Chain 1. Now we're going to do a single crochet in that stitch. That's single crochet US, double crochet UK. So you're popping your hook in the same stitch you are in, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both those loops right there. And that is your single crochet. All right, we're actually going to place a second one in the same space. So pop your hook in, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both those loops. In the very next stitch, you're doing 2 single crochets. In the stitch, pull a loop through, 2 loops, pull through. That's your first one, do a second one. In the stitch, pull a loop through, 2 loops, pull through. Guess what? That's it. 2 into the next. 1 and 2. 2 into the next. That is pretty much your round. It's super easy. 2 into the next. Or should I say 2 into every stitch all the way across until you get to the end of the round. All right, I'm going to pop this on fast, and I will meet you all back at the stitch marker once you're done. And I have 1 more stitch here, so 2 in there, 1 and 2. And then we slip stitch to join like that. Pull up a loop, remove your stitch marker for a moment, and what you have is that, we're just going to drop that loop for a minute, and it will automatically turn like that. All right, so in the meantime, let's grab our scissors and give our thread a cut, just pulling that tail through. What we did forget to do though is turn this inside out. Yours truly forgot to weave this end in. We should have done that before we started our 5 rounds of doubles before, yeah? I'm going to cut this because it's a little bit split. Thread your needle. This is the base tail from inside. If you cut yours without weaving it in, you have that risk of it coming undone. All right, so make sure you weave that tail in. It's going to be a little awkward now because we've already done quite a few rounds. Oops. Okay, here we are. The idea is to just catch a few top loops like so. Just a few top loops. You don't have to go through all the stitches, just those top loops like that. There. And pull that tail through. Yeah. Turn it around. Going back in the same direction you just came out of, but skipping a different area or splitting some stitching. Making sure you're only going through like a top loop and not all of the base loops. Otherwise it'll show. It won't be that noticeable anyway, even if it did show, being the fact that it's on the base of your piece. You can keep going through and doing one more. I'm going to do it. I wasn't going to, but I will. I'll do the third one. There you go. And then just give it a cut. Be careful not to cut your work because it's right at the base. Just give it a gentle tug and it's gone. Make sure you turn your piece back into the right way. Yep. Grab your little thread here, this one here, and do the same thing for this one here. You need to weave that end in. You can weave that wherever you like, doesn't matter. In this case, it doesn't really matter because your work turns out. So you can thread it any way you like. What I did find with the green one, I just got that little tail and went back into that previous stitch, just the back loop of it, pulled it through like that, and just pulled it down into here and weaved it into some threads all the way down to the single crochet round, if you will, or half double, doesn't matter, like so. And then I went through some of these stitches. And just give it a cut. And that's the end of the difficult part of your piece. The weaving an end for me is difficult. The crocheting, not so much. All right, very simple for me crocheting. You'll find that that will automatically turn down, which is okay. All right, so now what you want to do, now this is entirely up to you. You can do that. I'm just trying to grab my other one. You can use, oh, not even in frame. You can use your red thread, or let me take this one undone. You can do a different colour if you like. You're going to chain 50. So pop a loop again like you did in the beginning of our tutorial. If you don't remember, just go back to that time there. Pop your loop on your hook, chaining 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so go ahead and chain 50, and I'll pop this on fast. 6, 49 and 50. Just pull a loop through on that last one, give it a cut. Okay, you can leave a tail as long as you like, or you can do what I'm going to do now. Just pop them both together like that, roughly around exactly the same length, and just give it a cut. Still leaving it long enough so that you can cut it later when you pull it through your bag. All right, so I have 2 of them with a chain 50. Yep, oops, not even in frame. 2 of them for a chain 50. Just for fun, I'm going to pop the green one in here instead. So what you want to do is just flatten out your bag, because you will find that that round that we were doing, the very first stitch, will move. Okay, it's normal for it to move because you're working in the round. All right, we're going to leave that at the back. Yep, turn it this way, actually lift up this area, flatten it nice and neat, grab a big sewing needle, but I've got a really big one here. It's fantastic. Look at the size of that. Yeah. So you're going to grab that sewing hook, a sewing needle you've got here. All you need to do really is find a center space. The best way to do it, see these big chain spaces here? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 half doubles showing. So go 1, 2, 3, the center area. Again, you can move this to suit you anyway. So pop your needle through the top and under 1 half double and pull it through like so. Not all the way, make sure you leave some there. Go over the next one and under the next one. Over, under, that's all you need to remember. Over that, now that's the very first stitch, is why it looks a little odd. So over it and under it like so. Over and under like so. Over and under like so. Oh, we made it already. That was quick. All right, so where you will be is right there. Now this is what you need to do. You need to straighten up, and we're not even in frame. You need to straighten up the thread a little bit, give it a bit of a tug, and just straighten it up. Well, now that's too much. These need to be even, yeah? So that's all right. You can just keep adjusting it until you get to the part where you need, and that's not bad. Not bad at all. All right? So now what you want to do is either pop your soap in there, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to use my Potpourri. I want to show you how to do that. But I'm going to pop this in there so you can see it. All right? And then do it up. And when you do it up, it's like that. Now I'm going to take mine out because I want my Potpourri. Potpourri, you could use this, by the way. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. You can use that, or you can use what we had in our other piece with a bit of fluff and a few drops, about 3 or 4 drops of the oil of your choice, or you can use your Potpourri. So let's grab the Potpourri. Sorry guys, I put it on silent because this crinkling of this plastic is really annoying. So what you want to do, oh, it's really strong, is just fill up your bag with any flavours from your Potpourri pack. Pop in a stick. It's a really strong bag. Very, very strong bag. Now I think I've got the lemongrass here. Is it the lemongrass? Yes, it is. And just pop it in. If some of them are too big, you can break it. But I'm not going to break anything. I think it'll be all right. Let's pop in another stick. Why not? I'm going to pop this on fast and keep filling it up, and off we go. All right, now I transitioned that, guys, because, oh man, it took forever. The smell is really strong, and I think I pinned myself twice on a few of these little things sticking out. So there you go. But there it is. It's like that. You can use that. Personally, I like the look of the soap. I find this a little bit messy. Maybe you can pop your Potpourri in another pouch and then in there if you like. I find it just a little bit messy. I've had to clean the board more than enough times in between the break. And so what you do here now is you just tie it up like that. And now you'll find that this, I think I've overfilled it. Let's take that out. I think I have overfilled it. Okay, so there you go. And what you will do, you do that. You can tie them in a bow. However favourite way you do your bow is entirely up to you. And there you go. And that is your Potpourri pouch. All right, special thank you to the lovely Nifti. Don't forget, guys, you can join us also on our Wednesday live at 4 p.m. Melbourne, Australia time. Again, marry that up with your country. And we do have a lot of fun in our lives. Someone's silly, but it's not me. There you go. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Do all the wonderful things that you guys, well, pretty much already do for me. And I look forward to seeing you on our very next tutorial. Ciao for now.